Do you, Rosie Manning, declare that your following testimony is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I, Rosie Manning, declare that my testimony is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Rosie, please repeat your statement to the Crown Court.
It all started on the 12th of November 2012.
Going now.
Bye.
Namaste. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You disrespect everything we stand for.
You don't belong with us!
You're just a stupid little addict with no self-control!
You need to go. Come on guys, stand out the way.
I'll do whatever you tell me. Nobody needs to know
How
about
important
the
are your family to you?
I love my... No, I absolutely hate my family. They never let me do anything I want. Idiots.
Then I've got a proposition for you. Because your dad and his police mates are on our back saying we're the scum of the community because of a few illegal drugs.
What?
You need to get him off our back. Get rid. Just kill him.
What? What? I can't commit a crime and murder my own father. I never get away with that.
Yes, you would. Either you do that or I'll send your dad a pretty little message of you dying in a ditch somewhere. You've got till 10 PM tomorrow. Sharp.
I didn't know what to do. I never got along with my father particularly. I thought it would be easy. I'd been part of the gang for months. I couldn't let him know I was part of it. They're dealing drugs. I felt the pressure killing me. I had one choice, him or me. I got home that day. I'd had an argument with Dad about some money I stole from my parents. There was a lot of shouting and screaming. That moment I snapped. I was in my bedroom pacing. I was consumed with rage. My father had never spoken down to me that much before. I felt I needed to prove I wasn't as young, naive and innocent as everyone all thought. I wasn't thinking clearly. In that moment, I knew I had to kill him. I'm sorry for what I did.
I'm disappointed with you, Rosie.
It won't happen again. Hug.
I'm with you.
Love you, Daddy. I left the room, and in that moment, all I felt was relief. I'd done it. I returned to my room, and suddenly the guilt hit me. I walked back into my father's room to see if I could save him, but he was already dead. I called and arranged to meet up with Lauren. I got changed, put the clothes I was wearing along with the knife into a bag and left, leaving my father's dead body alone in the house for someone else, most likely my mother, to find. I met with Lauren and gave her the bag containing the evidence for her to burn. I felt confident in that moment that I was safe, that I would get through the grief I felt, the pain I felt for the loss of my father, and the overbearing fear that I would slip up or be caught out for what I had done.
And what happened later that night when you got home, Miss Manning?
That's when I felt the pain disintegrate underneath me. I got home to a fleet of police cars, forensics teams, and an ambulance. I tried to get into my house to try and see my mum, and there was police tape everywhere. She came running out at me, hugging me, crying her eyes out, explaining that she found my father dead upstairs, that there were forensic teams, and they had explained it was a stab wound that had killed him, but there was no knife, no evidence. This made me feel relieved. I was off the hook. She explained that the front door was locked when she got back. She couldn't understand how the killer possibly had entered the house. When I went into the house and sat down, she explained to me that the police would need to question us and where we were at the time to rule us out as suspects. That's when I cracked. I knew then that I would crack. I couldn't handle the pressure of the questioning. I could barely look my father in the eye when he questioned me about if I'd done my homework or tidied my room. I had to get out of there. Know what to do. I had to leave. I excused myself and went to my bedroom. I quickly grabbed a few clothes, necessities and some money I'd been saving, shoved them into a backpack and climbed out of the window. I had nowhere to go, no plan in mind. I just had to keep moving. I kept running. I tried ringing Lauren, but she wouldn't answer her phone. I don't think she would want to get caught trying to help me. I ran into the forest, going deeper and deeper, further away from the town. I'd been running for about an hour. I stopped and began building a shelter and trying to figure out what or where I would go next. A few days had passed and I was still living in the woods. I'd found a small cafe I went to occasionally to buy food, but I was still weak. The last thing I remember is passing out in the camp and waking up in hospital. The first sight was 2 policemen sat at my bedside. As I woke up, a nurse came in and explained I was fine. I'd been found in the woods unconscious and brought into hospital. At the point, the policeman and the nurse went outside of the room and stood talking. That's when they came in and arrested me on suspicion of the murder of my father.
Thank you, Miss Manning. Members of the jury, my job is to explain the law to you and sum up the evidence and the statements that you have heard. You must endeavour and reach a unanimous decision on whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. Miss Rosie Manning is accused of murder of the first degree. You have heard her statement and she has pleaded guilty. Forensics have pulled fingerprints of hers from her father's body and items around the residence. The estimated time of death was 4:05 p.m. on the 12th of November 2012. A neighbouring resident submitted a statement stating that Miss Manning left the house at approximately 3:55 p.m. that day, but was not alone. She was with a male described to be in his late teens, possibly 19, with short dark hair and wearing dark clothes. The neighbour in question was in her 80s and she could not be present today due to severe illness. The jury has the rest of the evidence and witness reports. I will now ask the jury to depart and reach a verdict.
We have reached the verdict that Miss Rosie Manning is not guilty of murder, but of the perversion of justice. We request a full police search of her ex-boyfriend, Josh Freeman, as a new subject of murder.